Hey guys, you guys know this is Miss J from the Tea Lounge with Miss J, here to bring you guys another great episode of the Tea Lounge. And I'm really super excited about our next guest for today. And of course, if you guys don't know, the Tea Lounge is a celebrity podcast show where we have celebrity guest interviews and we talk about genuine, diverse topics. But like I said before, I'm super excited for my guest today. She is the CEO and founder of the Honeypot, and I cannot wait to get more and dive into that with her. Please welcome Miss Bea Dixon. Hi, Bea.
Hi, how
How
are
are
you?
you?
Good. I'm very
I
good. Thank you.
thank you for coming on here today. I really appreciate it.
No, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we are going to get ready to start. I'm going to fire the first question at you, Miss B. I want to know what began your passion to start the
Um, Mother of invention being necessity.
Honeypot.
Um, I had an almost year-long bacterial vaginosis infection. Literally one night I went to sleep and I had a dream. And in my dream, I was sitting at a table with my grandmother, and she basically handed me a piece of paper and it had like a list of ingredients on it, you know?
hmm
And, she basically told me that she had been watching me struggle, trying to figure out how to deal with what was going on with my body. And so it was almost like you don't know what the hell you're doing. So let me just show you what you need to do. She didn't say that in the dream, but it was that kind of a vibe.
right.
And so, so she told me to look at the paper, remember it. She said she would make sure that I remembered it when I woke up. And, it's kind of like she was like, wake up, And so I woke up and I wrote it down because I remembered everything on the paper. And, I literally just went to get all the ingredients at the store. I just went and bought everything at Whole Foods. And I made it. And it's crazy because it worked.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, shout out to the wise ones. They
Yeah, exactly.
they know what's best.
Exactly.
They do. They do.
Yeah, every
I love it.
time.
And I love that how the honesty, and I appreciate your honesty for your story. Like I said, it's definitely one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to join the show so we can have genuine honest conversations, about it. And I want to go more about it. For the first time buyers of your products, why should they choose the Honeypot?
I think that they should choose Honeypot because we really go out of our way. Like our whole reason for being is for our customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a really profound respect for the fact that they can choose anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can choose any brand. We have a profound respect and gratitude for any human that does choose our brand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, pretty like not everybody is going to be able to use every single product that we make, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we make at least one product that everybody can make, if that makes sense. So we
Absolutely.
have that everybody can use, right? So, you may not be able to use our herbal pads, but you might be able to use our tampon or our menstrual cup. You may not be a white person, but you want to use a wash, right? Or vice versa. We've really dedicated our entire business around making really beautiful skincare for healthy vaginas. I mean, and for those that are a little challenged, right? So, so we
Right.
really just because vaginas are challenging.
They are.
They really are.
They
You
are.
know,
Speak the truth.
yeah. And so, we have a really beautiful skincare line. I call it skincare. It's definitely vulva care, which is skin. So,
Absolutely.
we put a lot of intentionality behind all the things that we do. I'm the person that formulates all the products. So I'm the person that works directly with the manufacturers. And so much goes into a bottle landing on a shelf,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
and we're just here for everything that comes with that so that we can be responsible to our end customer.
I love that. And one day, if you can make healthy vaginas a slogan, you definitely should. I really feel like you should make that a slogan because
Yeah.
I became a customer of yours just off that slogan alone. So I'm just saying.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's the point, right? Whatever you use
Yeah,
on your skin, whatever supplement you take, whatever it is that you use in or around or on your body should be for the benefit of your body, right?
absolutely. Yes.
And we align with that truly. So
And I love it. I do.
long answer, but that's why.
Hey, long answer, but true answer. And I love
Thank
it.
you.
I do. Going
Thank
on to
you.
the number three, Miss B. I know making the honey pot, even though it's super successful now, I know beginning it was probably challenging. What are some of the challenges that you faced while beginning the honey pot to bring to life?
Well, first off, it's still a fucking challenge. First off. Second off, you know, we are a growing company, right? I think that a lot of times the I live partially in New York, so sorry for the for the sirens.
Oh, you're
Um,
good.
but I think a lot of times when people, when the average person who's like watching our commercial on TV or
Mm-hmm.
follows us on Instagram or wherever it is that they see us, they see us in all these stores and all these places, but don't necessarily understand the mechanics
Right.
of what it takes to be in a consumer packaged goods business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in the beginning it was really hard, but in a lot of ways, sister, in the beginning it was a lot easier than what it is now. You know, yes, there was less people to manage. Supply chain, we only really had like one or two retailers and they were small. We were pretty much a direct to consumer brand for a few years. Once you get into retail, it's a whole nother ball game, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to have access to millions of dollars at all fucking times. Like there's no way for you to not have access to money, right?
Right, of course.
So me and my brother co-founder Simon, we're constantly, in addition to all the other things that our job titles require us,
Mm-hmm.
we're constantly raising money, right? Constantly looking for debt, constantly looking for ways to fund the business, because that's what it takes in order to do this, because all you ever need is money, right?
Right.
When you're on thousands of shelves, we're nearly going to be, by June, we'll probably be on tens of thousands of shelves, right? So,
Nice.
which we're probably like hitting a little less than that number, a little less than 10,000 doors, but still, like once that happens, it's so much more complicated because every retailer is different. Everybody's system is different. You have to have a team of people, so we
Mm-hmm.
have 14 people on our staff right now, which we're small, but to some people that's big, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to have brokers, we have to have sales managers, like it's crazy, so I personally think that business is much more difficult now than it was in the beginning. How I manage the position is probably the flip side of that. It's a lot easier to manage at this level than it was then,
Mm-hmm.
because we've learned so much, right? But yeah, it's there's levels to this shit. It's not easy
Oh
by
yes.
any means. It's quite complicated.
Yeah.
But it's great. We we
Yeah.
we 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 get to have complicated situations. We get to raise money. We get to build loan. Like we get to do all these things. It never comes from a place of complaint.
Of
It
course.
comes from a place of gratitude, because that means that we're accomplishing our goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so glad you were able to be honest about that because, people, like you said, from the commercials, people can see that it's all, easy. Well, she's on the shelves, so, things must be easy and smooth from here. No, no.
No, ma'am.
She's like, no.
No, ma'am. I mean, look, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Me, our business and every other business in the world that buys things out of China, right,
Mm-hmm.
are scrambling to find second, third, and fourth options for just in case something goes wrong, right? Just in case something happens at the port, right? You have to make decisions about things that you have no fucking idea of what's going to happen.
Right.
And that's hard, because then say you're going to buy more product so that you can arm yourself, so that you can make a decision and you don't run out of product. Well, now what happens is, now you have to figure out where you're going to store that product. You have to figure out way more money, because it costs more money to buy that product than what you planned for. These are things that happen, and again, it's hard,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But on the flip side of that, there might be some challenges, but there are also some rewarding moments as well.
All of it's rewarding.
All of it.
All of it's rewarding.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say all of it is definitely most rewarding. But what are some of the most rewarding moments you've had since you created the Honeypot?
These moments are very rewarding to me, because they really teach. It's almost like you're like getting your PhD in business, right? But it's like a straight up real life case study, So these moments are rewarding, because you can figure out how far your capacity is, and how much it can stretch, The fact that we have such a great team, that's rewarding. The fact that all the retailers that sell our products, or that are going to be selling our products, have chosen us to be on their shelves, that's rewarding. The fact that the humans with vaginas that use our products choose us, that's rewarding. And personally, the fact that I get to be here right now in this moment, talking to you, this is a rewarding moment as well.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel really special right now. I do. I do. There's a huge smile. I know you can't see it, but there is there.
I can hear it.
But it is there.
Hear it.
Good.
I can hear
good.
it.
I want you to hear it. I love it. That just made me smile. That was super unexpected. So, but yeah, you're right though. It's all rewarding moments. So for sure. But going on to number 5 question, you were part of Target's Founded to Believe In. And it was actually the commercial that I saw you in that actually made me want to reach out and have you on my show. It wasn't because of like you said before, getting your stuff on the shelves, but it was about you telling your story and how you said it is about, the next entrepreneur seeing herself. And, that definitely really inspired me. So, but what was it like being part of that commercial and being part of Target's Founded to Believe In?
That was crazy. Like, I can be oblivious to things sometimes, but like, because there's always so much going on. I'm very analog in my life, right? I'm not really on social media. I don't keep, like, this is how analog I am. I don't keep Apple News on my phone. Like, I'm really, really kind of off the grid a little bit, so they hit us up. They were like, hey, we want to do an interview with you. We're interviewing a few other brands. I don't know if a few was like 3 or 10 or 20. I don't know. And, so I'm just like, cool, put it on my schedule. We have the meeting. We talk about, it's an interview. It's like this, right?
Right.
And then, and then they contact us and they're like, pretty much this is going to be for a national like launch on television. No, they tell us that they're going to choose us. And then I'm like, great, right? Boom. When do I need to be there? It goes on my schedule. boom, I'm there, right? Because
Right.
normally I don't really know what's going on unless it's like on my calendar. So I'm just,
Totally
everything has to
understand.
go there because I will totally forget.
Totally
So
understand.
the day before I go, I'm like, wait a minute, where is this gonna live at? You know, like what am I doing? Because I didn't realize it was like 3 days. They sent like the schedule for it, like every day you're up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, wow, that sounds pretty, that seems pretty stringent, because meanwhile it's Minneapolis and it's like -7 outside, wardrobe and all this stuff. And I'm like, shit, what is this? Because it wasn't that I didn't respect what it was. I just didn't necessarily know that it was that big,
Right.
And so I sent an email to my contact and she was like, oh yeah, girl, this is about to be a national TV ad. I was like, wow. So I just
Whoa.
felt, I just felt, I just appreciated it so much, because they chose us. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, and and they chose me. And and I don't take things like that lightly.
Of
Um,
course.
because I just know that, it's a killer opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and we were really, we are we are and will continuously build off of this. Like this
Mm-hmm.
commercial just like really, it made shit happen that we've already seen happen, but it made stuff happen that like we can't even conceive of what it's gonna do, you know.
Wow.
So it's incredible, and I have so much gratitude for Target. Like you know,
Target.
I yeah, I adore all of our retailers, all of them. I just I have a special place in my heart for Target. They've really taken a chance on our brand.
Yeah. Yeah, and kudos for Target, because like I said, if I hadn't seen that commercial, I wouldn't have seen your story, and
Hmm.
you wouldn't be here talking to me. So,
Exactly. So it's
yeah,
really,
so
really, really
I
dope.
have that aligned quite nicely. I really do. So Target deserves a special shout out.
They do, man.
All right.
They're really special. They're
They
really special.
are. They are. All right, Miss B. I want to make sure my audience follows your company, your work, and everything. I know you said you're not really present on social media, but where can they follow the honey?
I do have a social media account. I'm very fortunate to have help with that. Um, so that is I am Bea Dixon, and
Hmm.
that's Beadixon. You can find the Honeypot at the Honeypot Co. on Instagram. You can also find us online at thehoneypot.co. To find the stores that we're in, because we're in quite a bit of them at this point. You pretty much can just go to our store locator on our website, type in your zip code, and it'll tell you the stores that we're in your area.
All right. All
So,
right. I hope everyone follow Miss B, follow the Honey Pot. There is an incredible brand, and it's plant
thank
based.
you.
So definitely make sure you guys follow it and follow Miss B, of course, because she's incredible, and I just love her rawness on the subject. Love it. I do. I
Thank
do.
you.
You don't have to hold back from nothing. This is the truth.
I, you know what? You know what? Real shit, girl. I don't hold back for anybody. Like this, what you getting right now is me 24/7. If I'm in a meeting
Love
with
it.
Target or talking to my mama, like this is how I live.
I can
So
dig it. Trust me,
yeah.
Miss B, I can dig it. I love it. Trust me, I love it. I don't. I gravitate people who are raw like that. Honestly, I do, because that's my personality too. So I
Right. No, I
adore
hear
it.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, we just got a couple more questions there for you, Miss B. Going on to
Okay.
number 7. I know you said earlier when we were talking about the challenges that we face in bringing the honey pot to life. Um, so many things that, some people don't know, especially now, even though you have that successful commercial with Target, you still face the challenges. But I know there
Yeah,
are some entrepreneurs out there who are listening in and are hoping to be kind of where you are, as successful as you are one day. But what
yeah.
kind of advice can you give to them?
Do whatever you do really well. You know, do whatever you do really, 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 really well. And that doesn't mean don't make mistakes. That doesn't mean try to be perfect. That doesn't mean that, because
Mm-hmm.
being a founder of a company, you have no fucking clue about what you're doing. There's still that I live there every day, right? But like, you're just making this shit up as you go. But but it's really important to do things really well, do them the best that you possibly can, treat anybody well that is in relation to your product or service,
Mm-hmm.
right? So treat your employees well,
Yeah.
treat your customers well by being respectful of them, like blessing their body, or not the other way around them blessing themselves, or how do I put it? Be appreciative
There you go.
that people don't have to choose you.
Exactly.
They don't have to choose you for their service, for their product. They just don't. So, the least that you can do is have gratitude in that, and serve up the most beautiful product that you can, serve up the most beautiful service that you can. And, and like I said, you know, be good to people, and come from a really human place and a really
Yes.
authentic place in all the things that you do, and it'll work out. It'll
Yes.
You'll meet the people you need to meet to make it grow. You'll find the customers that you need to find, because that kind of stuff, um, energetically, it just puts you in the right motion, on the right frequency, to be
Mm-hmm.
successful.
Absolutely. That is one of the best advice I ever heard. I don't know about y'all, but I feel inspired. I do. I
Thank you.
feel inspired. I feel like I can just run the world right now. So I
That's
do.
funny. But no, I mean, sister, it really is a real thing. Um, doing things just for money, at some point you're gonna hit a brick wall, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or you may not. You may be wickedly successful. But if you ask me about my path isn't just based on money. My path is based on so many other things. Real wealth to me not a fucking thing to do with money. Real wealth to me is happiness and kindness and love, first to myself, right?
Preacher.
And then that, from there, because everything that we put into the world comes from the inside of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important for people to have their insides right, their mind right, their energy right, so that everything that kind of comes off of that just comes from a good place. Doesn't mean that I'm always in a good place,
Right.
right? But I make it my goal to consistently be in a good place, and when I'm not, to be there and experience that, but then move on, because the next moment is a new moment, you know. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm hoping my listeners are listening in closely, because that is one solid advice.
yes.
And she was picked from Target to be a founder to believe in. So I think she knows what she's talking about. So I love it.
Thank you.
Okay? She was picked
Thank
by
you.
Target. You don't argue with Target. It's just, if they say it, it's true. I will
Thank
not
you.
argue. But I really love
Thank
that
you.
advice. That's solid, solid, definitely solid advice. So I really hope all my listeners listening in take that in, and wise words from a wise woman. So make sure you guys take that in.
Thank
Oh,
you.
of course. We are coming up to our couple last few questions. Number 8. Um, are there any goals that you would hope to achieve with the Honeypot that you still like to?
Yeah. I mean, we my biggest goal is to run a company that is a real business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That 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 is lean, that is strong, that can stand on its own you know, if it were a human on its own 2 feet. You know, that is my only goal. Everything else is the word that's coming into my head is antithesis, but I don't know if that's the right word. But everything else is going to flow off of that, right? When we go into a new retailer, I want to go at that retailer with the right strategy, with the right plan. When we're planning our digital marketing or just our marketing strategy year over year, or budget or whatever it is, my goal is that we do it in a way that's going to actually grow our business strategically, intelligently, and help us to get, you know, help us to just get to the next place.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's not necessarily centered around products. It's not centered around acquisitions or anything like that, even though, you know, we never know what's going to come up in our future. So but the only constant is making sure that we're putting the right energy into building a business that can last, you know.
Absolutely.
And that can grow.
That is absolutely, and that is a goal that I am gonna manifest you. You are gonna make that happen. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
You made the honeypot happen, so that you're gonna make happen. Absolutely. Hey, yeah. All right, Miss B, got our final 2 questions here. And number 9, in your own words, why is it important now, more than ever, for women to lead the conversation about their own feminine health?
Well, it's always a necessity. You're only really responsible for yourself. Right? You know, yes, if you have children, you know, you're responsible for them, especially if they're young and they're babies, you know. You know, I feel like that's just robot type of stuff, like, obviously. But one thing's for sure, if you aren't taking good care of yourself, then you are not necessarily gonna really be able to take care of those that have to rely on you.
So agree.
And so, you know, so when it comes to people making decisions about their vagina, or even bigger than that, just their body, their mind, their soul, their spirit, you know, however you look at it, it's so important to get to a place where you do find yourself responsible, right? That you do want to make good decisions, because this skin, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, you only getting one time in this skin. You know what I mean? So appreciate your skin, man. You know, appreciate all these billions of cells that are going, like, we're made up of all the stuff in the universe. We're made up of all that stuff. We really should I mean, our bodies are like an organic computer. We literally don't even think of, you know, most times we don't even think about that. But like, our bodies literally look after us, right? So the most we could do is look after our bodies. So, you know, yeah. So it's of most importance for humans to take responsibility for themselves. Do not project anything that you have to do for yourself onto anybody else. That is not anybody else's responsibility. It is only your responsibility. And if you allow yourself to fall or falter, or whatever the situation may be, right? You gotta man up, you know, and get with the times, and know that this moment you can make a decision to change that shit, right? And don't live in the neurosis of the fact that you did it, and make yourself feel guilt for whatever you did or didn't do, or whatever the thing is, you know. So it's so important to take responsibility for your vaginal health, to take responsibility for your body, to just be responsible. And I think, again, that fans out into all the other shit that you do, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I live like that.
Yeah.
You know, I work hard not to project anything on anybody else, not to have expectations from anybody. I work hard to do that shit. And it's real hard to do, because in our society, that's not what we're taught. We're taught the opposite of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely. No, and you're right. You're right. And I never really did think of it like that, like our bodies as organic computers. That is,
It's the most organic computer.
you should really put that on a t-shirt, honestly. I like that. No, I do. I like that. I feel like that could be a game changer right now. If you haven't really trademarked that immediately, that could be such a huge game changer. I'm serious. I think that could be the breakthrough that we need right there.
I love it.
I love it too. That's a good one. All right, coming up, our last final question is B. I am super curious to know, what made you choose the name the Honeypot?
Girl, there's nothing fancy to that story. I was literally trying to figure out, it was racking my, that's the hardest part about one of the hardest things about starting a business. What are you going to call it? Because everything else is, everything else is comes after that, right? How you brand it, how it looks, feels, all that kind of stuff. So I'm racking my brain for like weeks trying to figure out what it was going to be called. Girl, I drive down the street in Atlanta off of Moreland, or anybody that's listening from Atlanta is going to know that's like a famous street in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up and I see a poster for a band, and it's called Honeypot Band. And I was like, oh shit, I could call it Honeypot. And that's how it came about. So,
I love that.
But thank you to whoever that band was. Thank you.
I was going to say, did you go see that band?
I didn't.
I went to go see that.
I didn't. I should have, though. I really should have. That was hilarious.
That would have been seal the deal. Go see the band.
Exactly.
So the band ever listening out there, thank you for bringing brilliant.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Honeypot Band. I hope you're still around. Seriously.
I feel like we should go see them.
Right. Right.
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
You have been an absolute delight to talk to. I know my audience is going to love you, and I really love your message about taking control of your own body, your own health, your own vaginal health, and or like I said, organic computers. Our bodies are organic computers, so we need to take care of them to our best of our abilities. So
love yourself, man.
Yes, love yourself.
Seriously.
All of yourself. So
all of yourself, even if you 600 pounds, girl. Love yourself.
Exactly. Love all of your 600-pound self. Exactly.
Yes, all of it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I really do. I love the unfilteredness, the rawness. I know that my audience are going to adore it, and I know that's going to definitely make them drive to the Honeypot and find Target. I know I need to go Google the latest Target and see if I can find it. So, but I really do appreciate you being on here today, and I really appreciate you telling your story.
No, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate your time as well.
Absolutely. Of course, you guys know, this has been the Tea Lounge with Miss J. I want to thank our guest, Miss Bea Dixon, one more time, of course, CEO and founder of the Honeypot. Make sure you guys find your latest Target, and any retail shop, and definitely check out the product. And, of course, follow for more. They're on social media. Of course, follow Miss B and Miss Bea Dixon on her social media as well. Like I said, her story definitely needs to be heard over and over again. And, of course, like she said, organic computers. I really feel like you really should trade that mark on a t-shirt. Really saying, I'm just going to go back that one more time. I really feel like you should trade that mark on a t-shirt.
I'll talk to my team about it. I'll cut you into the deal on the back end. That's funny.
Really should. I really feel like that's your breakthrough right there. Oh,
Thank
my
you.
goodness. No problem. I had to mention that one more time. I couldn't help it. I had to throw that in there one more time.
No, I get it.
All right, but I definitely want to thank everyone for listening in. Of course, I want to thank our guest, Bea Dixon, one more time. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, and I'll be back with another great episode of the Teen Lounge with Miss J. But until then, you guys stay beautiful, and I'll be back soon. Bye.